How have you awoken this morning? What has brought you to your aliveness? Maybe a breath of fresh air, a conversation, maybe singing or listening to stories, perhaps through some quiet time, or feeling our gathered time together. So let's just take a moment of gratitude for awakening this morning. The crow is awake. I'm going to be talking with you about awakening, influenced by a quote from theologian, musicologist, and physician Albert Schweitzer, who said, "The path of awakening is not about becoming who you are. Rather, it is about unbecoming who you are not." Now, there are many ways to explore this quote. I'll be focusing on two interconnected ways, basically non-striving and letting go, which I'll get into in a bit. So have you ever held a job, especially jobs in your younger life, in which you felt, this is really not me? I mean, I don't know what is me, but it is not this. Or in a past relationship, maybe there came a point when you or the partner realized, wow, I just don't feel like I can continue to fit into this relationship the way it is. Something's off. We get to have multiple experiences like these throughout our lives in which we try something out and at some point realize, nope, this just isn't me. Or yes, this feels like me, at least for a while, until it doesn't. Right after college, I decided to quit my good-paying waitressing job to get a real job as a preschool teacher, and it did not take long to realize that spending 40 hours per week in a room full of 3-year-olds somehow did not feel like me or something that I wanted to be part of long-term. And thankfully, there are people who it is them, right? So take a moment to think back to something in your life in which it didn't take too long to just know, nope, I know enough about myself to know that that is not who I am. So having not identified ourselves too strongly with it, we released it and moved on. But this practice of unbecoming who we are not seems to get trickier, perhaps more nuanced, as we embody more roles and identities and develop or follow definitions of how life is supposed to be. We discover, as Adina pointed out, that there are layers to unpeel towards a return to center. And we may even discover that a foundation we had relied upon, striven for, built upon, put our trust in, and perhaps even called truth, is crumbling and is not sustainable or generative. We can notice this in our personal lives and on a more systemic level. I'd like to share one way this has recently manifested in my life. As some of you know, I practice yoga, more recently as more of an anxiety suppressant than anything else. And to varying degrees, I have relied on my body's wisdom to show me the way. At the same time, I have also avoided some parts that I've just not been sure what to do with. Aware that these parts feel off. So in the last few months, when those off parts felt more and more off, and my anxiety kept growing, I began to mistrust my body's wisdom to do what it needed to do to sustain me well. So, the surrender flag of my ego clinging went up, and I asked for help through physical therapy. I had a sense that this would be a humbling, unbecoming process. This is what I've learned so far. It's only been a few weeks. I'm quite off, y'all. My foundation and how I have patterned my body is no longer supporting me super well. So now I am doing all of these strange exercises, and it's like a whole new communication and navigation systems are being introduced. And I am in an awkward process of undoing old patterns that I had relied on. Those holding patterns don't stop at the body, though. They're very interconnected with breathing and thought patterns. My body had begun to position itself, this is fascinating to me, okay, my body had begun to position itself to breathe in more, to expand and extend more, to seek more possibilities within a held breath, to reach outside of myself because there is more I need from out there to become more. Extending out and stretching our minds, our hearts, our bodies are necessary with a healthy balance of the exhalation, the emptying release, the return home to center, of settling into ourselves as we are, as receptive beings, as witnesses to an ending. I share this because it's not just my story. This is a humans are stressed out story, which has stressed out the planet. I am suggesting that we and the planet are responding to the human avoidance of exhaling, the return home, the letting go of that which does not serve well. So, I'm speaking generally here. We try to fill up through outward extension, by adding to, and by holding on to ideas and beliefs and things. This imbalanced ratio of taking in more than letting go is disempowering to our interdependent nature. It creates anxiety. So the exhalation grounds us, releases us. It lets us know that we can trust our being in relation with the world. It lets us know that we can't control as much as we think we can. And at the end of our breath out, it lets us know that we're all going to experience a final breath. So I want to also mention something important, and it's how we are with ourselves as we discover what we are not. So going to physical therapy, as I already mentioned, has been a wonderfully humbling experience. The foundation I had been building on has required some repositioning and working with some parts of myself that I have avoided. And now I am getting to know these parts better. And my initial responses, reactions with those parts can be pretty harsh. Part of my unbecoming revolves around old stories of who I think I need to be and how to strive towards that, to become all of it. And if I am not that, then shame on me. Again, this is not just my story, right? So as we discover those things we are not, Gloria Steinem, she said, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. Yeah. So as we discover those things that we are not, practicing kindness with ourselves and all our parts is good practice. And repeat, and repeat, and repeat. We are living in a great time of transformation, and remembering to breathe can be a pointer to what's worth your energy. That within every breath cycle, there's an opportunity to expand ourselves, to stretch out beyond ourselves. It's a beautiful thing. And there's an opportunity to let go. And offering kindness and compassion with ourselves and others through this birth to death experiment will serve us well. So as a closing to this, let's enter into a time of meditation. This is a guided meditation that involves some time travel. And I've adapted it from meditation teacher David Harshada Wagner. Take a moment to close your eyes or look downward. Feel your body resting in the chair. Notice the air moving in and out of your body, following the in-breath, following the out-breath. Now notice what it feels like to be you in your current life with your awareness in your body, in your mind, with your energy, with your sense of connection and relationships, whatever forms they take. Notice what you feel the most. Notice what you do the most, what you put your energy into. Now let's imagine into the future. Your current self, all of you, gets to visit a dying person. You sit down next to them at their comfortable bed. This fragile, dying person lying there, at the end of a full life, is you. Take a moment to look into your dying self's eyes. Your current self can sense that your dying self has gained a lot of perspective along the way. You can see that your dying self is content, connected, full of love, and ready to leave this earth, ready for the final breath. Your future dying self's hand reaches out to hold the hand of your current self. Your dying self knows everything that you are going through right now. You've learned many things in your years, especially what is truly important and worth your focus. What does your dying self need to tell your current self? What are they offering to you about who you are? About what matters? About what doesn't matter? Continue to feel this interaction and presence with each other. It may not need words. It may be enough to just be with each other. And as you sit with your dying self, remember, you are both parts. You are the one offering wisdom and the current one receiving it. Take this wisdom deep in your heart. Breathe it through you. Allow the wisdom of the dying one to inhabit your current being. You are that wisdom now. As you are ready, please invite a longer breath in and follow it out. And open your eyes. Amen. May it be so. May we make it so.